the contrast in styles between the two organizations. Yep. They're hyper aggressive. We don't care about the draft.
Right.
We are going to get proven commodities. The Niners are a little more, not conservative, but we're going to build this thing through the draft. And we're going to try to, philosophically build our team in a different way.
So that's something I want to go to, and I want to go in that direction, the aggressiveness. And we're going to do that as I say good morning to everybody getting off the graveyard shifts. I realize I didn't do that today. If you're at work, what is happening? Good morning to you on the roadways. The aggressiveness. We look at this Niners schedule, and I'm looking at it like this. Beat the Rams, you're 2-2. It's not going to be easy at all. It's not going to be an easy game. Just get to 2-2. You can go on a road for Carolina, Atlanta. Just get me a split. Get me a split and be 3-3 by the time you play the Kansas City Chiefs. When you go into the bye week, I would love to see the Niners at 4-4. Now, the bye week happens a couple days before the NFL trading deadline. And Lubman looked this up yesterday. Last year at the deadline, or around the deadline, there were 10 different trades. The NFL was very, very active. Guys are getting cut. Guys are getting traded. Remember, Von Miller gets traded from Denver to the Rams. Odell Beckham Jr. is getting cut.
People laughed at the Von Miller acquisition. If you go back to that fourth quarter, you can't tell me that he didn't have an impact on that game.
Dominated the football game.
Yeah.
Dominated the football game. Then had a good Super Bowl. There was a lot of movement. And the NFL, excuse me, the NFL has been moving towards being more active towards the deadline and being more active in season. We're seeing all kind of trades, right? Let's just see where the 49ers are during the bye week, and let's see who's going to be available, because I think with this defense, you cannot waste it, Shasky. You cannot waste this defense. Now, are they great yet? No, they're not causing the turnovers. They're not forcing the turnovers. They're not falling on the football when there's a fumble out there like they did on Sunday night. That's what makes the defense great, right? Creating turnovers, scoring. But what can you do to help this offense? What players are going to be available at the deadline? Because when I look at the Niners, they're going to have their second-round pick next year. 2024, they're going to have their full complement of picks. 2025, they're going to have their full complement of picks. At some point, you just got to say, damn it, we got to go get a guy. They can't draft a guy. They can't draft a running back, so go get one.
Well, and B, if you're a win-now team, why wouldn't you want to acquire something to help you win now?
Right.
Which is kind of like what everyone says. Remember in 2019, they were really depleted at wide receiver.
They make the trade for Emmanuel Sanders.
Exactly. And I think we all agree that was a really good trade.
Very good trade.
And, even though it cost you, a third or a fourth round pick, I think at the time, nobody even cares. Nobody even cares because it was one of those moves that helped get you over the top. Now, he had the rib injury. Right. God, it would have been nice if he would have been healthy the entire time. But even then, everybody goes back to Jimmy missed Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, they traded for him midseason.
Yep.
Remember, he didn't have a bye that year.
He didn't have a bye. He had the rib injury. Yeah, he had to play every single week, and he made an impact right away.
I would love to see them make some sort of a move on offense. No one's giving up linemen in the NFL right now. No. That's just not a trade that usually happens. It's usually skill position guys.
This line's just going to have to get better.
Yes.
Aaron Banks, Burford, Brindle, McGlinchey, whoever the hell plays left tackle, they're just going to have to get better.
But can we agree? Playmaker is a number one thing. So whether that's running back, wide receiver, whatever's available, I think you have to scour the market for it.
So
dare I say, maybe backup quarterback just as an insurance policy for Jimmy? Am I out of line saying that?
You don't think Brock Purdy's an insurance policy? Listen.
I'm not trying to be crazy here, but we're gonna. So Trey's not ready, but all of a sudden Brock Purdy is?
Yeah, I know it. How laughable is it?
I mean,
how laughable is that?
The system is so complicated, and it takes a full year for you to understand it, but this guy in 5 weeks is going to be able to figure it out?
Here's my deal. If
I have
there's
a tough
running
time
back,
believing that.
Save Kareem. I don't think Kareem Hunt's going to be on the block. I think Cleveland's keeping Kareem Hunt. Stevenson in New England. You got Pollard. You got all these running backs. Tony Pollard, I don't think, is getting traded from the Dallas Cowboys. He's a big part of what they do, being in the slot or whatnot. But if there is somebody available, I don't know if it's Saquon. I don't know who's going to be available at the deadline. Here's my philosophy on this, Shasky. If you can't draft a running back in the third round, if you keep failing to draft the right running back in the third round, then maybe go trade for an established one.
Belichick did that a lot at wide receiver. He wasn't good at drafting wide receivers. Remember Dexter Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
But what he would do was, once you're in the league, he'd find film on you, and he'd go, now I know that you can do X, Y, and Z. Let me get Wes Welker.
Right.
Let me get Julian Edelman.
Let me get Randy Moss.
Right? So he had a really tough time drafting his own wide receivers.
Randy, why are you shaking your head, Spinoni? Randy Moss.
One of the great fleecings of all time.
For a 4th round pick. We traded Randy Moss.
Well, you know what was worse?
For a 4th round pick.
Giving up a first rounder for Richard Seymour.
Oh, boy, that was rough.
Or Devontae Adams, am I right? Oh, too soon?
Right. I'll take Devontae
I'll take Devontae right now.
Right now.
But, can I interest you in a Jimmy G?
But you hear me, though? Like, if you can't draft a running back in the 3rd round,
I'm with you.
Go trade for one that's established, and, the hard part is done. You don't have to develop somebody. They're already developed.
Well, for as bad as the San Francisco Giants were at developing outfielders, the one thing they were good at was trading for them or signing them.
Right. Reggie Sanders, Hellingsburg,
trading for Hunter Pence.
Right. No doubt. Now, with that said, I do think this offseason we overrated the skill positions of the 49ers.
Who?
I think we all just overrated the entire offense, like in terms of how many playmakers they had. We knew they had Deebo Samuel, who's a playmaker. But now when you see him play running back a lot, and he's on the line of scrimmage, and then George Kittle, he's a shell. George Kittle doesn't look healthy. He didn't look healthy Sunday. Granted, it's his first game. He played 51 of 56 snaps. That's a good thing. But when I see Kittle, Deebo, and just Ayuk, and if you have Deebo in the backfield and Ayuk's getting double teamed, I'm like, damn. Jawan Jennings is running routes, and Danny Gray's running routes, knowing damn well Jimmy Garoppolo can't get him the football. They need more playmakers. That's why when you were saying earlier in the season, Odell Beckham Jr.,
I'm screaming.
I'm like, you know what? They need more playmakers.
Well, they need a backup tight end who can.
Exactly. They need backup tight end. They need another wide receiver. They need a running back.
Here's the problem, though, with the offense, and this goes back to we were talking about the running game, right? If the running game is going to be so pivotal to everything that you do, you're going to limit the amount of possessions. That's also going to limit the amount of dropbacks you have, right? And so the opportunities to throw to those wide receivers. The one thing that I'll give the Rams, they've got Van Jefferson and Cooper Kupp and all these weapons, and they throw to all of them.
Allen Robinson.
I mean, they're throwing 35 times a game, right? The Niners don't want to throw 35 times a game. So that's why, as much as I want Odell and a wide receiver or a backup tight end, I think their money would actually be best spent on a running back, considering that they want to get to that magical 35 runs a game number.
But doesn't it feel like late game situations when it's time to throw a football game?
You can never have enough receivers.
This team just doesn't seem to be able to throw
Odell
a forward pass.
Destroyed you in that NFC Championship.
Destroyed them.
And was killing it in the Super Bowl before he got hurt.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Cooper Kupp killed you. The tight ends killed you.
You want to look at my matchups as we get a little way too early matchup. Bringing in Ward, does he just follow Cooper Kupp around?
I like Mosley on him too, though.
Okay.
Mosley is set the tone against him. You probably watch our various war, but they move around Cooper Kupp so well. Whether it's a jet sweep motion. Yeah. I think they're so... I would love to see Ward on him, but I think you have to give Cooper Kupp different looks.
Okay.
Keep him honest. I have no problem with Emmanuel Mosley, who I think is maybe the most underrated cornerback in all of football. I have no problem with him sticking on Cooper Kupp. Now, Allen Robinson's another beast. This is another guy, he's starting to come on for the Rams.
Yeah.
He's starting to come on. He's a big, long target. A lot of Niner fans wanted him for years.
So long.
The Rams, kind of like the Seahawks, just start snatching things from the Niners and Niner fans. So this is going to be a tough matchup. But
I think this is a really hard game.
This is going to be a nice challenge for this defense. A very nice challenge. Now, the defensive line in Stafford, I think this defensive line can overwhelm Matt Stafford.
Well, their offensive line stinks. That's the one vulnerable part of it. But so does yours, and I worry about Aaron Donald. So I think this is going to be another ugly trenches game. I really do, B. I think it's going to be another ugly trench-dominated game.
No doubt. I'm going to get into the defense here at the top of the hour as you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMG FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, and download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. And do not forget that you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. Rams and Niners, Monday Night Football, 5:15 kickoff at Levi Stadium. Get there early. Second home game of the season against the team that ended your 2021 season in the NFC Championship. The champs are coming back. They're coming off a win against the Arizona Cardinals. But you know what time it is, Shasky? It's time for Luke King of the Hill.
Sorry about that. You could edit that. My bad. Gather round, all you fanatics of sports.
I was laughing. I had a skittle coming down my throat.
It's time for Lord Bonta of House Hill to decree the finest 8 football teams and all the NFC. For this is King of the Hill.
Bonta, you are nobody, my dude.
On 95.7 The Game.
Another week, another ranking, Shasky. Where will the Niners land? Where will the Niners land? It's your weekly edition of King of the Hill. Everybody loves it. Everybody wants it. So here we go with number 7, Spadoni. Number 7. Number 7. The San Francisco 49ers.
Oh.
Hanging out by a thread. Now, if the season ended today, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. The Bears, the Giants, they'd be leapfrogged ahead of the 49ers. But at 1-2, they still have one of the top defenses in the NFL. They're close to being 2-1. They're close to being 3-0. Heck, but their record is appropriate. They're 1-2, and they desperately need a win against the Super Bowl champs. I still got them at 7th because of that defense. Any rebuttal there, Sasky?
No, I like them at 7 because I think right now they're a fringe playoff team.
Yeah, right
They've
now.
got to win some games for them to move up in the rankings. I think this is fair.
All right, number 6. The LA Rams. The Chaps, they were 6 last week. Niners were 3 last week. They fall to 7. Rams, they were 6 last week. I'm going to just keep them right there. That wasn't an impressive victory against Arizona. In Arizona, tell me Kingsbury is not getting fired this year.
Well, he just got extension.
Oh, boy. He's going to be on Hard Knocks, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, they are a mess.
I think if I were to power rank homes of head coaches in the NFL, I would say that McVay has the best home and he has the second best home.
Yeah, well, he may have to sell that home soon.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
Scottsdale,
But the Rams,
very underrated.
The Rams, number 6, they're 2-1. And they want to improve to 3-1.
Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Let's not declare them dead at any point this season, Bonta.
Well, I mean, they didn't win a game in November.
Let's get to Trey Lance. Number 5.
All right, number 5.
Joe DiMaggio, number 5. There we go.
I don't have 6 and 7s. I have 5 through 1.
Oh, okay.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Kirk Cousins?
Helping your boys stay alive in the survivor pool. They were down 14-0
No
to
one
the
cares
upstart
about your
Detroit
survivor
Lions. And Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, rose up from the dead.
What about Justin?
To rally. Justin Jefferson got shut down in that game, so we're not going to bring him up. They got another wide receiver with dreadlocks. I forget his name, but he was balling in that game, number 17. Listen, the Vikings and that horde rally against the fighting Dan Campbells and hold on for dear life 28-24. I got the Vikes at 5. If they just figure out how to be consistent. Watch out for Dalvin Cook's shoulder, too. He's got a shoulder issue for all you fantasy football players.
Thus concludes Viking talk here on the leader.
Number 4.
Number 4. Guru's going to like this one. Last week, they weren't in the top 7.
Who is it?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Cooper
Rush, CeeDee Lamb. They're using both running backs, and they got a big win. They play the Commanders this week. The Cowboys could be 3-1. So much for taking. So much for trading for Jimmy Garoppolo. Dak who? They have Cooper Rush, baby. The Cowboys, number 4. You know why?
And Micah Parsons is so sick.
He might be the best defensive player in football.
He's so sick.
We didn't bring him up this offseason. We're talking about TJ Watt. He's on the shelf. Nick Bosa, solid start to the season.
Number 11 on a defensive player looks pretty saucy.
It looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
He's a beast.
In the middle, on the edge. It doesn't matter. Michael Parsons is balling. Cowboys, number 4. Next up.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Curry for 3.
This time it's Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks. No, I'm going to give him a mulligan. They lose last week 14-12 to Green Bay. He had nobody to throw to.
A breakfast ball?
Yeah,
You don't even know what that is.
No, what is a breakfast
Well, it's
ball?
when you start off a golf round and you top one or you shank a drive and it's the first hole of the first, the day. You go, it's a breakfast ball, so you get a second shot.
Oh, wow.
It's like a
Breakfast
mulligan.
ball.
Yeah, they call it a
yeah,
breakfast
all right,
ball.
All right, breakfast ball. I learn something new every day about the game of golf.
If you're my brother, Pat, you get multiple breakfast balls.
Yeah, well, you got to throw him under the bus. Man, Deli Boy. Damn, catching
Or if you're
shade.
Lucas Alexander.
Oh, Lucas Alexander, that guy. The tortoise in the hair. That guy's the slowest player of all time.
Hey, Lucas looked good yesterday coming to the studio, actually dressed up. Man.
I know, I was very
Believe
surprised.
That? Yeah, very surprised. Look dapper. They had the dunks on.
Corporate look.
He's
Just for that
selling
virtual
out.
meeting, am I right?
So
Virtual
who's
meeting.
getting a breakfast ball and what number are they?
I don't know. But Tampa Bay's number 3.
Oh, number
Tampa Bay's
3.
number 3. Number 3.
Oh.
They'll be all right. They'll bounce back. They have the Chiefs this week, which may be played at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota in that dome.
And while we're here, let's pray for everybody in South Florida and Tampa Bay. I mean, this hurricane is very, very dangerous, and apparently all of Tampa Bay is right there on the water, and so just everybody that's got family or whatever out there, that let's keep them in our thoughts.
No doubt about that. All right, let's move along here, Spadoni.
Number 2.
Number 2, the other Bay, Green Bay.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers and company. That defense travels. That defense is real. It's a little different Packer team. They got some toughness to them.
Oh,
some toughness.
we say that every year.
Well, maybe. We'll see. But they still have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
They're working in these young wide receivers. Alan Lazard scored a touchdown last week. They have a running game. Dylan Jones, that's a nice little 1-2 combo. And Jair Alexander, that man's a stud. A stud.
I had an epiphany on Aaron Rodgers, and this is going way deep here. Ninja Turtles, the movie. Aaron Rodgers looks like Casey Jones. Like the way he shaved the whole side, and then he's got the ponytail.
Yeah.
Something's going on with that guy.
Yeah, something is going on with that guy. Who knows? But they're 2-1 right now, and they're number 2 in the King of the Hill rankings. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Fly.
What?
Eagles. Fly, baby.
What?
Fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. You're number 1 team in the NFC. They can do it all.
You're doing the
run
bird.
the ball. Jalen Hurts is looking good. He did
Mark Willard's favorite quarterback.
Yeah, I know, because he runs up the middle all the time, right? Psych! He does it. He runs his own read. Listen.
In 97?
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. They've got a defense. Fletcher Cox has been reborn in the middle of that defense. Yeah. They're flying around, hitting people. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, which is one of the top games in the league. One of the top 5 games on the slate this weekend in the NFL. So I got the Fly, Eagles, Fly, your top 7 teams in the NFL. Look at the graphic. Look at the flip. Wow, look at that. Great work on the production team.
Notorious
look at that.
right
I do look
there.
like a boss right there, right? With the crown. Right? I just need some chains, though. Give me with the chains, baby. 7 is the Niners, 6 the Rams, 5 with the Vikings, 4 with the Cowboys, 3 Tampa, 2 Green Bay, and number 1, it's Fly, Eagles, Fly. I don't even know if the song goes like that, but Fly, Eagles, Fly, number 1 team on the King of the Hill rankings.
Wow. And by the way, people need to know that's the NFC only.
NFC only.
All right.
NFC
there's
only.
7 teams that make the playoffs.
NFC only. If not, Buffalo would be in there. Miami would be in there. Kansas City would be in there. The Raiders would not be in there.
With the 7 spots right now, it feels like at maximum only 2 teams out of the NFC West would be getting in right now. And maybe I'm wrong. What do you think? Because last year we were told maybe 4 get in.
Yeah, Seattle's
maybe 3.
Geno Smith. I mean,
I'm ready to write them off.
Yeah, that defense is not good.
Yeah.
Arizona.
I'm telling you, I think that we're sleeping on them a little, because I do think when DeAndre comes back,
they're going to get a jolt.
Yeah, and I think the Chandler Jones absence is hurting them. Something is off with them.
Something is off. Vince Joseph.
But they scare me.
They do. They are scary. You just don't know what you're going to get from them. You don't know what you're going to get from the Arizona Cardinals.
Own us.
They did. They did sweep the Niners last year. They swept the Niners last year.
You got to just be, remove emotion from it and be like, dude, Kyler plays us very well.
I mean, so what can the Niners do here? They can improve to 2-2. They go on the road and take on Carolina and Atlanta. Can you split there? It didn't beat the schedule. The beat of the schedule comes where you're playing Kansas City, you're playing the Chargers, you're playing Tampa, you're playing the Dolphins. You have the Saints and that strong defense. But the schedule is set up for the Niners to win at least 10 games this year. They got to get some playmakers. Jimmy has to play better. What can the Niners do? Should they be aggressive at the deadline? Do they owe it to this defense? Because I want to get into that, Shasky. How good is this defense? Are we looking at one of the best defenses in the last 30 years for the 49ers? You got numbers. I've got numbers. We've got players. We got it all. Here on the Morning Roast, and that'll be brought to you by Fremont Bank. Full service banking, no compromises.